Welcome to another episode of the F1 Money Gang podcast, guys. It's been over a month since we had our last podcast, and I don't even know what F1 was, to be honest with you. It's been that long since I seen a race, and I can't wait for this. I'm not too excited about the new format, to be honest. This is my own opinion. I'm not a fan of sprint race weekends and all this new fiasco with FP1 sprint shootout, sprints, race, qualies. It's all messed up to me, but this is my own opinion. But I'm excited to announce that we have a new guest here. We have a long-time Discord, big-time contributor who has been sharing bets since day one. He joined the Discord. We're going to introduce him in a little bit later in the podcast. He's going to give his best bet as well for the upcoming Baku Grand Prix. And with that said, let's go to Cap. How you doing, man?
Good, man. We are back. Feels like our first of two summer breaks, but yeah, we got the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We got the C3, C4, C5 compounds. So we are looking at the softest compounds. The track is set up for it's a power track, so we're going to see a lot of guys with their lower downforce setups. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tricky. I think some teams are also going to be looking for some downforce as well for the turns because there's no room for error on this track. The track surface is going to be some of the lowest deg you're going to see on the calendar. I would say it's almost equivalent to the Australian GP. So tire degradation won't be as bad as some of the tracks you'll see, such as like next weekend. So yeah, and then going back to your sprint format, it is pretty wild, the new format that they're coming out with. So yeah, this is a lot of unknowns for everyone. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what it comes out of, and it's just getting a little bit out of hand, I think. But we'll see. Maybe it's gonna attract more fans. So, how about Chris? So. How about you, man? How you doing? How was the break? How was everything going?
Man, it was good. Just living in Florida, sunny sunshine. Everyone's on spring break as long as just like F1. So time's over. We got a busy 5-6 weeks ahead of us.
Yeah, I think it was Lights or you who said that there's 5 races in the next 6 weeks or so. I was like, wow. I had to look at the calendar to make sure, you were not smoking something because that's crazy. I'm excited. So I'm excited. Well, good to see you again, and let's welcome Lights from Canada. How is it going up there, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. Great to be on for the first time all season. Things are going great in Canada. Snow's starting to melt, and it's NHL playoff season, so everyone's excited. Everyone's teams are still in the first round, and obviously I'm thrilled to have F1 back. We're 3 races in now. We got some trends forming on some drivers. And just as exciting, our Discord is approaching 1,000 members. And it was about a year ago we all decided to get together and start sharing ideas in one spot. And just the growth has been amazing. So I want to say thank you all to all the listeners and the Discord members. And just the support's been amazing this year. And let's head into the next few weeks, 5 races in 6 weeks, and cash some tickets together.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. The Discord has been growing tremendously. And it has been just... amazing from everybody sharing plays every week. And you guys can find the link to the Discord in the description if you are on your Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. You'll be able to find that. And so with that said, I want to introduce our friend who's joining from the UK. His first time on our podcast, long-time member, as I mentioned, in the Discord. Introduce yourself, man. How you doing?
Hi guys, thank you very much for letting me come on to the podcast. As a long-time listener and now obviously part of the Discord, it's really good to get on the pod at last, and hopefully we can do some good stuff for Baku. So looking forward to it.
Nice. Yeah, and we have I haven't inserted your link so people can follow you on Twitter and all your social media platforms. If you're not watching this, if you're just listening to the podcast, please give him a follow. He has been a great contributor to the community, and we appreciate you being here with us. So thanks a lot, man. And what is your best bet for this Grand Prix?
Well, I think you'd be a silly man to bet against Max Verstappen. So I am definitely backing his dominance here at Baku. So I've gone for fastest lap and race win. And you can get it at 7-5 or 2.4 on Canby sites in the UK. So Unibet, Grosvenor Sports. And yeah, I just see Red Bull being a dominant force here again, and I don't see why he can't achieve this.
Nice, yeah. And you being in the UK, what is your opinion on the new format?
Ooh, as a long-time F1 fan, obviously it hurts moving to sprints. I was never in favour of them before. Obviously, on betting side, I do not like having less data available to me. So swings and roundabouts, but I just hope it puts on a display.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully we have a good race and a good weekend. Um, well, I'm gonna start with Cap. You know what? What do you have for us this week, man?
Man, going back to that comment, the lack of data is killing me. So we can even go back to the Aussie GP, where we were kind of lacking some of the data in the FP2 sessions. We did get some, I guess you could say, to Lights' point. We're starting to figure out the trends. It's still early season. I kind of look at like the first 3 or 4 races as preseason, so it was kind of tough. And then the approach this weekend. How do I take this new sprint? Actually, it was first, how do I take the sprint in Baku, and then this new format? It's just wild. So I went back with just looking at trends. I think that my favorite trend right now is the Alpine top 10. I think that Alpine is actually proving that they can compete with even the likes of Mercedes and Aston Martin, even though they're still going to be behind. But they are showing a capable car. They had one of the top speeds in the last race. I want to say last week every time, but it's been 3 weeks. And Gasly, just in general, has been pretty good form at this track. I think he was like 5th or 6th last year here. He was 5th, and then in 2021 he was 3rd, and qualified even both years into AlphaTauri with 4th and 6th respectively. And he also showed last year, also in each FP session, that he was doing well. Ocon, I still kind of worry about. That's why I was worried about taking both cars at top 10. But I still think the Alpine has a car that will be in the top 10 at the end of the race, and hopefully they won't wreck into each other like they did the last one.
Yeah, and as you know, has been a Discord fan favorite bet,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that it might be in the voting again this week, but I guess we will see, right?
Going back to last year, this has been my bread and butter. One of my bread and butter picks. It for sure. And then it's just kept going with the community bets. Everyone loves Big Cat Ocon. What can I say?
Yeah. Hey,
I
he's
know.
your man. Yeah.
I mean, I know Mech does. Big Cat.
Yeah, we're
That's
talking
true.
about Mac. What do you like for this week, man? Have you looked into anything? Is it a race? Is it the Free Money Friday? We're waiting on that. So
Well, listen, if you know anything about me, I'm here for 2 things: bet Botus, bet Free Money Friday. And unfortunately, Botus fucking sucks this year, so we're not doing that. We're gonna stick with Free Money Friday, and I don't want to be a dead horse, but of course, this is a brand new setup. We have no idea how teams are going to approach it, how much they're going to focus on this first practice. So it's not really something I want to get too into with the unit supplies, but I think I found a couple plus odd bets. We can at least put a half unit on, maybe double our money. And we're going to follow a trend here, and we're going to go over the margin, which is 0.25. Just trend. It's 3 out of 3 this year so far in FP1s, nearly by double. We're almost sitting half a second on each gap. So it's nearly double the line. We're going to stick with that trend. That's a plus 150. So a half unit, maybe we can get a unit out of it. Then we're going to go just like everyone else has been saying, Red Bull. Stick with the dominance. When in doubt, go with the guys who are going to come prepared. That's Max and Checo. So we're going to go reverse forecast for 1-2, Max and Checo, plus 185. Same thing, half a unit. And all these bets can be found on the Bovada. And that's Free Money Friday, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you where were you able to find these at, because I do like I don't think I've seen the either way bet yet on Pavada. Is that a new
They
thing?
name it. It's they name it a different things. Sometimes it'd be like Red Bull top two, either way, however you want to make it. But
Oh,
either way,
okay,
it's
okay, all right,
Max and Checo 1-2.
okay. Oh wow, and I'm shocked that they actually have it for FP1. That's I don't think I've
It's
seen that
actually one of
before.
the better value ones because it's FP1.
Yeah,
Of course, you're taking a gamble, but
yeah. All right, and let's go to lights. What do you like this weekend? I know you're a big Pick'ems guy, and what do you like this week, man?
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I got some sportsbook plays, but I'm just gonna focus on pick'ems for today. If any listeners don't already know, we like to dial in on the F1 markets on the pick'em apps. Sometimes they're also called DFS. Prize Picks and Underdog are the biggest ones. If you're not already playing on Underdog, make sure you sign up and use our code name F1 Money Gang, all one word. They'll have some lines up for Saturday and Sunday sessions. Doesn't look like they want to reel anything out for us to pick off on Friday, so we'll move over to Prize Picks. So on Prize Picks, by far the easiest line for qualifying, I think, is Alonso over 3.0. So if it hits exactly 3.0, it's obviously a push. So they're asking him to beat at least one of the Red Bulls for this to miss. I don't think it's going to happen. The trend this year, Leclerc has sucked on Sundays, but he's still been solid on qualifying, even if he isn't winning poles every race weekend. So far in 3 races, Leclerc's been there. So I would say it's the 2 Red Bulls and Leclerc. And then Alonso's probably the 4th guy, but the Mercedes have been sharp too, and Sainz is always in the mix. So you're asking Alonso to beat probably at least 4 other really solid drivers just for this line to push. He's only cracked podium in qualifying once this year, and that was when Max DNF'd in Q2 in Saudi Arabia, I believe it was. And yeah, that's about it. I can understand why they started it at 3.0. Alonso's been pushing the pace in free practice sessions, but qualifying will be obviously everybody going all out and trying their hardest. And then you can also pair that with Leclerc under 5.5. I think that room has a lot of room to go under as well. He's only missed it once. He got 7th place in Australia when the tire temperatures were all weird, and it was just a weird track for qualifying sessions. So threw some things out of order. So with that said, I think we'll start to see a qualifying session closer to expected outcomes, which would be Alonso over 3.0 and Leclerc under 5.5.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the Leclerc because I know that you mentioned it in the Discord, and when I saw it at first, I was like, wow, this is a really good value play there. So all right, then Alonso and Leclerc are, I'm gonna play them. I'm myself too. So, and so what I was looking at this, and I'm looking at this race, and I'm gonna tread lightly, but I'm actually gonna take a qualifying bet here. I do like a few bets, but qualifying bet is gonna be my man George Russell to finish in the top 6 in qualifier. So far this season, he has been in the top 6 in every race. He actually finished 3rd, I believe it was last race, and he has been in the top 6 every other race. Qualifying, I'm sorry. And at these odds at -105, like you guys mentioned, you have clearly the Red Bulls, the Ferraris, and Aston Martins. I do think that it could be a toss-up with Lewis being in the picture as well, and the Aston Martins have been crazy good, the Ferraris as well. But at these odds, at the trends that I have seen, and I looked at his previous qualifying at Baku, he has always been in the top 6. He actually started in 3rd, I believe, last year, and he finished in 3rd, or he started 4th and he finished in 3rd last year in Baku. I believe that the Mercedes is better at this point of the year than they were last year at the Baku Grand Prix. And George is just getting better and better as a driver, I think. And at these odds, I just have to bet it, and that's what I like at the moment. There's lots of lines out there, but I don't want to push anything, especially with this new format that we have going on this week. Is Cap, do you have anything else that you like? Anything that you've seen this week that you might bet and you just have not pulled the trigger yet, or?
Oh, a lot, but it goes back to uncertainty. Like, I will make a couple comments. One, the Mercedes comments you're making are definitely, I like them. Of course, I'm
Yeah.
gonna love that. Lights is gonna hate that, but yeah, I do like the Russell pick. I think it is very interesting that Bovada had it at 33-1 for him to win for something that could be so chaotic. I'm not saying bet it. I'm just saying it's something to keep an eye on because MGM has that at like 16-1, and I believe DK has it at 25-1. So if you're expecting chaos, you don't know, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. These are sprint races, so what if he is in the top three and then ends up winning one of the races? You never know. But 33-1 is a little too rich. But to go back to your original question, I want to say Ferrari. I am going back to Ferrari. I hate it. It's a tough pill to swallow. I think that there's a lot of overreaction, and I, this is the weekend that Ferrari can't afford to have DNFs. They can't afford to not have points. They need to have points. They need to actually not only just prove to others, but to themselves that they can actually make this work. They're just a premier team that is needing to get their shit together. Leclerc has always proven himself at this racetrack, although he did have a blunder. I think it was like 2018 or 2019. But yeah, I think a top six. Bovada had it at plus 110 for both of them. That's craziness. You would never see the plus odds on both Ferraris in the past. I think that's just overreaction. And I believe Renegade might have had Leclerc for podium. But just overall, I just think that if you are looking at a bet, do not just go and sit there and say, I'm going to fade Ferrari because of Ferrari's failures in the past. You have to forward look. They can't afford to lose any more points.
Yeah, no,
So
I like that.
that's just you have to look at them as a top six team still. They are still a top 6 team.
Oh yeah, and I mean like last week was just unfortunate events with last race with Leclerc and then Sainz with the
I mean,
penalty.
Sainz would have been in fourth if it wasn't for the penalty,
I
and then
think so,
Leclerc, who's to say, like, if he were to be on track, he was proving himself at least. What did he end up in, like third, fourth, or something like that in quali? I don't remember. It feels like forever. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, you can't fade him. And then the other reason why is they're better set up for this track than Aston Martin would be. In the past, Aston Martin has always had like a pretty draggy car, and they were always terrible on the straights. They're a little bit better this year, but they are still lacking in some of those efficiencies when it comes to drag, but definitely a lot better. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Nice. All right, that's good. Chris, what do you have? Do you have anything that you like? Any other bets that our listeners can bet that you love, or what you got?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the margins here. I actually just went back and checked last year's, and you can get the winning margin for the race over 10 seconds right now. It's at even money. This is going like 20 seconds plus here. It actually would have cashed in Australia, of course. No reason to go back on that madness, but I mean, max to win by 10 seconds. I don't see any reason not to, especially with the results in the past. So yeah,
What's
Is-
since you were, sorry to cut you off, I apologize, but I know that you and Cap are wearing a Williams t-shirt here today. Do you guys like the fastest or the top speed at plus 600? Do you guys like that for the race? I mean, Williams has shown to have a lot of speed, and with this track being such as, like the end of the lap with the big straightaway, maybe? No? You guys like it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely fast.
Yeah, I do. I am a little more bullish on Williams this weekend than normal. The one thing I would caution is they don't have a car set up really well for like sector, I think it's 3. Is that where they're gonna, or sector 2? I'm sorry. So that's gonna be their only crutch. But I think from an odds perspective, you might want to consider Haas because they were at like 22-1. And they typically have pretty good DRS effectiveness too. So They, I believe, were very close. I can't remember if it was this last race or Jeddah, but if it wasn't for Max or Perez always trying to go for that extra point right now, they would have hit. I think we were able to get it at 41, and I believe F1 Bet Tipster also was on that as well. That one weekend we had it. So
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I believe it was Jeddah.
it was Jeddah. Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
Jeddah where we were kind of bullish on that. We were talking about that, and I just think from an odds perspective, 22-1 is more juicy for me to take on that than 6-1. But you can't. Williams should. I wouldn't surprise me if you saw Williams in Q3. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, the American crowd's gonna like it with Logan in there. So.
Hey, he's just getting ready for Miami. It's no big deal.
Oh yeah. He's getting prepped. You know.
Hometown boys coming home.
Lights, how about you? Do you like anything? I know you love Lance Stroll. He's your countryman. Do you like anything Austin Martin? Do you like any other bets? I know you post a lot on the Discord. You have a lot of stuff out there, but what is it that you love?
Yeah, Nora's just been shopping lines all week across a few different books, and I'd highly recommend if people are looking for some arbitrages, you might find them in anything to do with like number of safety cars, number of virtual safety cars, over under classified, etc. Found some good value there early in the week. There's a couple books offering safety car and virtual safety car both to happen for under minus 200. If you can find anything under minus 200, there's value there. It's just, yeah, it would be shocking if there was no safety car, and the way they've been calling the virtual safety cars preemptively before the safety cars, they seem to go together well. Besides that, tailed a couple guys on the classified number under 16.5. Found that at plus money. I think most books are offering it at around minus 110. Seems like, you know, hot Middle Eastern heat, street circuit walls, some new drivers still, and then a busy weekend for the engines. They're going to have to push decently hard on Saturday in that sprint, or at least most of them are. So the question is, where does that leave some of these engines come Sunday? So I think we'll see at least four guys not finish, and found plus money at that at plus 105. So under 16.5 classified would be my other bet I'd suggest, as well as both virtual and real safety car. If you can find it anywhere under minus 200, should be solid as well.
Yeah, I actually was looking at that over, because I was under the impression like, hey, if we have a lot of new drivers on the grid, and I was gonna bet the over, but then you bring up a very good point that with this new expanded format, you got a lot more racing this weekend as far as pushing the car. Lots of new young drivers out there that don't know the track, so I'm gonna tell you on that one. I really like that a lot. And what about you, Hester? What do you got? Anything else that you like?
Well, I know Lights is on this one with me as well. Gasly top 6 qualifier. He goes around this track like a bull. And if we flash back to 2021, Charles Leclerc stole pole in a mediocre Ferrari. So anything can happen here. If there's a red flag in quali sessions, you never know. Gasly could be up there, but I also think he could be up there on merit. The car looks quick. I expect it to go well in qualies. Maybe race, it will suffer a little bit. But my other big long shot as well that I really like is Verstappen to win by 10 plus seconds, have the fastest lap, and Red Bull fastest pit stop at 7-1.
Nice.
I think that's just really good value, considering obviously I've tipped the fastest lap and the win already. Red Bull and Ferrari, I know they've been trading fastest pit stop so far this season, but we can always count on the Red Bull's pit crew to do their job. So again, at 7-1, I think that's some good value, and that's over on B-Win. So if you can get on that, I'd definitely give a couple of quid here and there to both of those tips.
Nice.
And I love that.
Yeah, that's I think that Mech is on a similar bet, but only with a big margin, that 10 seconds. And I think that last year was
we're double dipping. We're going back in.
I think you said that last year's, I think the margin was like 20 plus seconds, right? So,
yeah, and almost did 21. And then the next guy was 45 seconds behind them. So.
And now being Red Bull even more powerful than they were last year. I could see this easily coming through. I like that one as well. All right, well that's good. You guys got some good insight here. But I have we started a little game a couple races ago of us predicting the top three final standing at the end of the race. Capper, what do you got, my friend? Who are gonna be the top three
hold
this
on.
week?
We have to. I think we have to go back and recap what
You have that. I actually don't have it, so go ahead and do that.
I think I do. I think I do. Somewhere. I just need to pull up my sheets
That's gonna be
because
bad.
But let me just go with, this is how I've been doing it. I've obviously been going against the grain. Everyone's picking Max. That's just too fun. That's just not too fun, I should say. I want to have some fun, so I like to bring chaos into this prediction, assuming one of them wrecks. I'm going to say Russell wins this goddamn thing.
Okay.
I'm going to say George Russell. I'm going to say Charles Leclerc. And I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton. Again, do not bet this crap. Please do not bet this crap. If you're listening, this is absolute just dumb stuff. But this is what makes it fun.
I just played your clip that Lewis said that this car is dragging down. It's very slow.
Yeah, I'm
and
dragging all of y'all down right now, huh?
I mean, if this hits, you're
I'm
a master.
I mean,
guess,
but
like-
I mean, I could sit there and say yes, Max, Perez,
Yeah.
and then Alonso, but nah, I want to
Yeah.
have fun with this.
All right, Chris. What about you? What do you like for the top three? I know you did pretty well. I think it was in Jeddah. I think you had like almost all three of them, but they were like in a kind of like a reverse order. But you had all three
I
on
was,
the
I was
podium.
worried.
Yeah. So what do you got?
Yeah, I was worried. All right. I'm thinking I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I'm gonna go Max Checo, but I'm gonna throw a wild card in for number 3. I'm gonna go with the Ferrari guy who's not been practicing the piano his entire break and say my man Carlos top 3.
Carlos. All right.
Piano man.
Yeah, what is Charles doing over here? Trying to get number one hit?
Listen,
Like, bro, get in the car.
He
You got a
just
couple
can't.
DNFs this year, buddy.
He can't
Get in the
figure
car.
out his tires, so he's got to figure out the piano.
Yeah. What about you,
Shameful.
Lights? What do you got? Top 3.
Perez, Max, Hamilton.
Okay. All right.
Boring.
Yeah. I
Boring.
mean,
Yeah, I'm kidding.
the guy wants to win. You know, the guy wants to
I'm
win.
just kidding. I'm just
I took Hamilton third. That's what, plus 1,000 he cracks a podium here.
Wow.
I think I found the last one, but keep going.
Yeah. No. Dipster, what do you got, man? For the top 3.
Right, I'll go reverse order. So third place, Perez. Second, Verstappen. And first place, Yuki Tsunoda. So-
I love it. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you, my man.
All right.
Finally, I love it.
Before we continue on that, we definitely need a detail of what happens in this race for Yuki to finish in first place. Like, is there 17 people did not finish the race, and just the other 2 guys were just 20 seconds behind penalties, or what happening? What's going on? Tell us about that.
I think he just wins it on merit. He's
Yeah,
just
he's just
been
gotta wake
hiding
up.
all of his pace. Yeah,
Oh man, that's
I'll,
He's just that good, guys. He's just that
he
good.
is.
Yuki. I mean, like Yuki has been getting better though. I gotta say, I was not a fan of him the first year, but I think that he's getting better and better. I think so. And you
definitely
need the market too in Japan to keep F1 more engaged. So
While we're on that topic, I think that Renegade placed the bet for top 10, and I think that is an absolute banger of a bet, because if he does get sniffs anywhere near that, his odds are going to be like plus 110, if that, I think he's at like 3-1 right now. So
yeah, last I saw it was like 350, so plus 250. I think it was. I think Yaz went down a little bit.
look at his performance in FP1, 2, and 3. He was like in the top like 10 in every session, basically. and I think he ended up top 10 last year too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so.
Hey, you never
Close
know.
to
He might
100,000.
actually he might actually win. He might actually win.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what the trend says.
that'll be wild, I guess.
They'll never cash that ticket, but it might happen.
Yeah, you just never
Yep.
know. And
Well, here, let
go
me
ahead.
quickly just tell you, the last time we did this, we also did DNF as well. So just FYI, we did that as one of our picks. So Jinx had Max, Leclerc, Checo, and DNF with Sainz. So he was close. He just had the DNF wrong by
Yeah,
the wrong driver.
yeah.
Renegade had Max, Leclerc, Alonso, Checo DNF. And then Dolcetto, you had Max, Alonso, Perez with Sainz DNF. And I had Leclerc, Checo, Alonso with a Max DNF. Man, I'm just a Max hater too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, you clearly don't
Ooh.
like him. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna for mine. I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna be like Chris. I'm gonna go boring. Max 1, Checo 2, but for the third one, I'm still gonna stick with George. I think George is. I was gonna pick Hamilton, but I think George has improved a lot, and he's my favorite driver on the grid. So I just want to root for him to do good. So I want to see him on a podium again. I want to see him cry of happiness. I mean, So I'm gonna stick with that. And for DNF, I would say we're gonna see one of the Ferraris. I will say this time would be Sainz. How about that? This is my
Yeah,
DNF.
oh, you're just slandering these guys just every
Yes.
week.
I mean, until they prove me wrong, I can't bet him. I can't.
Friend
bet
is friend. Friend is friend.
him.
I will say we've done it again, boys. We have absolutely faded Alonso once again. Not a single person has mentioned him.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
I
I faded him in quali.
Okay, well, I would like to hear this from F1 Bet Tipster. Actually, like, do you actually believe Alonso or Aston Martin? They're going to be overperformers or underperformers this weekend at Baku?
Definitely under with regard to the previous few races, for sure. I just think even though they've got a new rear wing, I still think the car's a little bit too draggy and they're going to be caught out by the long straights of Baku, and their DRS isn't the best on the grid. I think it's actually the worst. So, yeah, unfortunately, fade AM as much as you can, in my opinion. And I know that hurts to say, so...
No,
For me, it's my favorite
not for
word.
me. I mean, I just look. You got the DRS effectiveness. I think you are correct. Yeah, that was one of the worst on the grid. I think that Mercedes has an advantage in that area, not by much, but still, I think you're spot on. That straight is going to probably kill them. And we saw it last year with Monza, even though Alonso wasn't on Aston Martin. But let's remember there was a lot of hype going into Monza, and then all of a sudden Monza hits, and you're like, holy cow, why are they so bad? That's a big reason why, is that car was really draggy. And they've improved it this year, but we may see the flaws this weekend.
Awesome stuff, guys. All right, well, and I just want to say, I appreciate Tipster joining us from the UK. We're gonna look forward to having you again here on the pod. And also, I want to mention that if you guys are in the Discord, and if you're not, please get in. But we're gonna have our Grid Rivals lineups out there. I know lots of the guys are on Grid Rivals, so we have a link to join the league as well. And I know there's a few of us who share DraftKings lineups. I know that we should have won the one a few weeks ago, but thanks to penalties, we got screwed by the payout. So look out for the DraftKings lineups as well in the Discord. We'll be posting those as soon as the sprint is done, I guess, now with the new format. So look out, because we have an early Sunday morning race here in North America. So check it out by Saturday night, hopefully. And we're gonna have, I'm sure that all of us are gonna have picks in the Discord. We each of us has a channel that we post our picks in there, so please check it out. as well as the community bet. We're gonna have our community bet started, I believe, after the sprint is done. So get in there, put your vote in, and hopefully this week we don't get screwed by two teammates and we actually win the community bet, because we've been doing very great. So anything else you guys have for the listeners? Anything else? Anybody? Any input? Any long shots?
Discord wise, I saw T-Man's got a bunch of picks out. It looks like he's done some his due diligence on there. So Discord wise, definitely give him a view. He's got a bunch.
Yep.
Yeah, there's basically every market covered between all tipsters, whatever you're interested in.
Yeah. All right, guys, and we I want to say thanks to Underdog again for sponsoring this podcast, and let's have a good Baku Grand Prix, and hopefully we win some bets. All right, guys, on to the next one. See ya.